Sorry guys. So this is going to be, I guess, an intro. Um, I screwed up. I videotaped probably a 20-minute video last night or yesterday tearing this saw down. I screwed up. So I did part two, which is what you're going to watch in a minute. You're going to miss the first part of it, which was the tear down of this yesterday. I was clearing off videos on my phone and I deleted the footage from yesterday, which was breaking this saw down. So you're not going to see that. I apologize. What you are going to see is what I just shot, and that's cleaning the saw and working on it, and telling you guys what's going to be on part two, okay? So here's part one, working on the CR500. Enjoy. Okay guys, this is actually the next day from the first part you just watched. I ended up taking the rest of the day off yesterday and playing with my boy, but it's still cold out here. These gloves are frozen. I should have put them by the heater. Anyhow, what we're gonna do is I took the rest of it apart off camera last night, and I tore, the so-called clutch cover off, or whatever you want to call it, chain guard. I acid washed them. This, the outer one, and the inner one is off. I did take the sprocket and sprocket drum off. There was a few things going on there. I guess what happened was somebody decided to delete the pull start pulley, the rope start, and welded a nut on it, so I had to cut the nut off. They were obviously using like an impact or a drill or something to start it with a socket on the nut. I'm putting it all back to how it's supposed to be. So anyway, yeah, the two covers, inner and outer, are washed. Now I'm just going to clean up the exterior of the saw a bit, just to make it easier to work on. Once we get that cleaned up, I am going to dig into the spark issue right off the bat. This year I can figure out I already know what's got to be done here. Dig into the spark issue. Once I have the spark issue fixed, I'm going to clean the carburetor, and we'll put the rest of it back together, and then we'll go out and test cut with it. So I got a little bit of arsol out of my parts washer. This is a little bit too big for the parts washer that I have, so I'm just going to go like this. It's not too bad, really. Clean around the crank seal. This side's always the dirty side of the saw usually, especially one without a fan to cool it and blow all the dust across to the other side. So yeah, we're just going to give it a quick little clean here. I could use brake cleaner, but unfortunately when I use brake cleaner in this shop, the propane heater burns it off that in the air, and it smells terrible. And literally it'll be out here for 2 days. It'll stink like that. Every time I use brake cleaner in the winter with that propane heater, it reeks. The brake cleaner, I guess, is just in the air and it gets burnt by that. It's bad enough smelling the propane, but this shop is vented very well. It's not insulated, so I did not get to insulating it this year. I guess buying other saws was more important to me. I always pay for it in the winter. Beautiful piece of bird's eye maple for that palm grip or whatever handle. Been sitting around this saw filthy. So what you do to make a hot saw is you cut the transmission off the motocross bike, right? And then all this bracketry is all made. This piece is welded up to the case. This is the back half of the case where it would have had the transmission. It's got all steel mounts. This is the fuel tank here. This is the oil tank up here. There's 4 or 5 decomps on the head. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 decompression valves on the head. Don't imagine pulling this thing over is going to be very fun. I don't know what kind of fuel economy it'll get, but I would imagine that this tank's probably not going to last too long. Has a big Mikuni carb on it. Let me just spin this around here. Get that other side. See, those the steel part number here for those mounts. So this lower bracket, the same as on the other side, is mounted directly to the head, and then where your handles here, it's mounted through these cushioned rubber mounts. Ordered a bunch of lathe tooling today, or the other day, sorry. It's supposed to be delivered today. So if you guys hear the dogs barking outside, you know the delivery guy's here. I ordered a Jacob's chuck for the tailstock, Morse taper 2. I also ordered live center. Splashing shit everywhere. So I will use a little bit of brake clean. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to, just to wash this Varsol and stuff off. And I could probably blow it off with the air compressor too, but the case is in good shape. I'm gonna do a nice job cleaning it up. I hate dirty equipment. like to see what's going on, if there's anything broken or. We're gonna drain the fuel, clean the carb. First is our spark issue. And I'm gonna fab up a new kill switch bracket. Lots of dirt down here still. Whoever painted that red paint on there didn't prep it, so it's just coming right off. Same within the Honda lettering on that clutch cover. I acid washed it, it came right off. Didn't even have to scrub it. Yeah, I think that's probably, you know, presentable now. Go get a can of brake cleaner. Probably gonna shut the propane heat off for a little bit while I'm using the brake clean. Try to cut down on that smell if I can. Okay, guys. Or I could bring it outside and do it. But it's minus 26 out today, minus 25, something like that. Let me just shut this heater off for a second. Okay. This brake clean sucks too. It doesn't even have any power. I like buying the cans that are, you know, power wash out of it. If you're spraying this by an electric heater, you should probably be a little bit careful. Well, that looks a hell of a lot better already. Get another can, boys. There we go, this one's got a little power. The school bus. Okay, it's clean enough now that I'm going to take it out of this tub. And I'll give it one more quick little cleaning one. Okay. Now, tell I got OCD, eh? Everything's got to be square and straight. Drives me nuts. Okay, throw these two cans out. 1, 2, 2 for 2. Now that I splashed dirt on everything back here, that's where I was telling you about the paint came out. So we'll just give these a little blast. So. I'm gonna have to go stock up on brake cleaner. This is my last can. That's probably one of the most expensive. That and paper towels is definitely the 2 most expensive shop supplies, consumables. You know, even with like sandpaper and grinding discs and stuff like that, I still spend more money on brake cleaner and paper towels. And that's why I charge when I get a dirty saw, because I have to. I can't afford to pay to clean other people's stuff. Got a rag now, and blow that off, and then we'll turn the heat back on. You guys can hold me accountable next year to have this shop insulated. How about that? Because just in case, I'm going to shut the heater off over there. I am atomizing a whole bunch of brake cleaner in here. Okay, just give it a minute for that compressor to shut off, guys. It won't take long. I'm gonna clean this bench off here and wipe it all down, and then I'll bring you guys right back. No sense watching that. Okay guys, I got everything cleaned up here. As you can see, the bench is all cleaned off. The saw is all cleaned up, the power head. A little bit of a change of plans. I was gonna dig into the spark issue before I swapped everything back on here and changed it over back to a pull cord instead of a welded on nut. The thing with doing that is I can't really test for spark if I don't have a way to pull it over, right? So that's the change of plans. I'm going to take both those inner and outer covers. I'm going to remount it up. I'm going to change everything around. So I'm going to make some sort of system that I can pull it over, because like I said, it was converted over to a welded on nut. Probably a big impact or a big drill would spin this thing over. And that's not my fancy. So I will put it back to original and how it was supposed to be. I have everything here to do it, but the thing is, I got to make a. I'll get further into it. I'll show you guys what's going on. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so let me bring those parts over here, and I'll zoom you guys in a bit, and we'll discuss this further. Okay, so I brought most of the parts over. I don't think you guys can see my head in here, but maybe I should zoom this out. Okay, that'll work there. Maybe you guys can see me there now. Anyway, doesn't really matter, but so I'll show you what was going on. Okay, so this here is the original pull cord that was made to start the saw. Somebody along the line before it came here. So this here goes on the crankshaft. Come on, yeah. That's got to be fixed too. It's just straight, so it's not, you know, they didn't chamfer that to make it win a little bit easier. But anyway, I'll fix that. I'm going to put it on the lathe. I think a few of those got to be cleaned up too. Anyway, not a big deal. So this is that nut I was telling you about. You could see the weld on it. Okay, so that was welded in here. So, and then this bolt here was the one that went through the nut and into the crankshaft. So that's what held this on here. Now the sprocket, it's all made to, you guys can see they welded each pin in it. Okay. The sprocket is keyed, and so is this drum here. And that goes on there. That's got to be cleaned up a little bit too, but I tore all that down last night. Anyway, that's how it went. Okay, just like that. So they would skip past this 13 mil and they would go on to this outer nut, you know, with the ugga-dugga or drill or whatever, and spin the motor over. Now, this is how it's supposed to be. So I had to figure this all out last night, right? Because like I said, it was real weird. They had, for no odd reason, they had these two nuts just floating on the inside of there. So as soon as I pulled this bolt out, remember this nut's welded on here, they had those two sitting in there with that. So as soon as I pulled that bolt out, those two nuts dropped, and I would have had to use picks to line them all back up. It was a real janky setup. Anyhow, so I'm getting rid of those and getting rid of this. We'll put the sprocket on, pretend that sprocket's on. Now this is the problem that I'm going to have right here. Okay, so now you can see this isn't keyed. There's no keyway on this. There's no keyway on the inside of here. Okay, so probably what was happening, now this center crankshaft bolt would have to be real tight because, let's pull this back off here. Okay, so this would have to be real tight in order for this not to spin, and it would have to turn the motor over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to key this out, okay, and I'm going to weld a key in here. Either that, or I'm going to drill it like this, and I'm going to machine part of this out, machine part of it out on the other side, or thread it, whatever. Drill this through, and we're going to put a bolt through this. Okay, so not right through the center, obviously, because you can't with a bolt in there. Okay, so it's going to have to be offset. Now I'll show you what I mean on like a motocross bike shifter. So if you grab a shifter, just give me a sec, guys. I have one here. Right here. Okay, so this is kind of what I mean. So if you can see the shifter, see how that bolt doesn't go through the center of it, right? It kind of clamps it, but it also goes through. Now I'll show you the shaft. This is what I mean. Let me show you the shift shaft. This is exactly what I mean right here, guys. Okay, so see how this shaft is notched out? That notch is for that bolt. Okay, so this will not go in there. This will not go in there unless I take that bolt out. And see how it sits like that? Okay, same idea. That's what I'm thinking anyway. If you guys have any better idea in the comments, let me know. I mean, there's a bunch of other ways we can skin the cat, right? I could mill, you know, some sort of teeth on the back of there or something in order for it to, and match it up in the inside of there so it bites. I would have to take this down a little bit. Then I'd also have to make sure it's going to clear this clutch cover. You can see it did rub on there a few times, right? See the marks? So yeah, I'm thinking probably my best bet is to I'll build up, I'll weld in here, okay? So I'll build up some weld in there, and then I'll machine it down so it's like the shape of a keyway or whatever. Doesn't have to be that precise, as long as this fits in and it prevents it from spinning without that. And then I'll machine out this here. That's probably the easiest way. And then, you know, you'll put it together and you'll kind of turn it till it finds its spot, and boom. And then these two are locked together. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I can rely on a friction fit. I don't know. Okay, guys, like I said, that's what I'm going to do. So we'll end this video here. Guys, you guys who held out right to the end, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get these watch time hours built up, just like anyone else. So it's good, and I like to keep you guys entertained. But there's going to be like probably a 4 or 5 part series on this 500. So keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, guys, the guys that came right to the end, I really appreciate you. Show me love down in the comments. And anyone that has a better idea, or doesn't even have to be a better idea, maybe a simpler idea. We all think differently, so if you have an idea, try to get it across to me in the comments on what you would do to make sure these two parts are keyed together, okay? And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I did take a 7-month break, 6.5-month break from YouTube, and I've been welcomed back greatly. Everybody that was here before has showed me love, so I really appreciate that. And just let you know, we're here for good. So thanks for all the support. We'll see you guys on part 2, okay? So part 2 on the CR500. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.